Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
I'm going to kind of go over the rules of the basic game to the best of my ability. So everybody's going to draw 2 characters, and you're going to pick one that you want. You're going to line it up here. Now, I'm going to go over the rules to the best of my abilities, but I'll be honest with you, they are not clear in the rule book. So this is what I was able to figure out. So your starting resource here will be 2. Then you will have the green will be 3, and this is on whatever your character is. So each character will be a little bit different on what you're putting out. So this one will be 4, and this one will be 3. And you're supposed to put one above each of these, and then you're ready to go. And one here for your actions. Everybody's going to start the game out with 5 available actions. So the game is going to start. You're going to have this thing here, and this is going to be up on collect and trade. That's going to be the first thing that you can do on a turn when the game is set up. So you can see here the collect and trade. Now you're going to have 5 actions per turn that you can utilize. So one action is always turn this, and if I spend an action to do that, I can take a develop or unite. If I want to do another action, I can turn it and research and talent. But if I want to get back to collect and trade, I got to go all the way back. So let's kind of show you how this is. So collect is pretty easy. That just means I get 1 of any resource. So let's say I want to get that resource. Or I could trade, which is get rid of 1 resource and gain 2 of any other resource. And the rules are a little bit unclear if I could take 2 different resources or not, but we played as you get 2 of the same. Now I could spend an action to move this, and I could develop or unite, or spend it to research or talent. But let's go through some of these and kind of tell you what they are. So build and upgrade. Each game you're going to have 3 buildings that will be available to everybody to purchase. And you can build these that you're going to have. If somebody buys one, they're not refilled until the end of the round, until after everybody goes. And each building can be upgraded, which is the upgrade action, to the level 2. So let me just show you one of these and show you what they do. So these are how many victory points they're worth. And it costs, to build it would cost 4 stones. So I'd have to give up 4 of my stones in order to build this. Then it would go in front of me. But it does require a few things. It requires somebody with an axe, somebody with a hammer, and it requires me to develop this aspect right here. So at this point in the game, I could actually not purchase this because I don't meet the requirements. But if I was to get it, Root Leader, gain a +1 AP per round for each axe location built. Now, if I wanted to upgrade it, once again, I'd have to have all these requirements to build it in the first place, but I have to pay the 4 stone again, and then I would be able to upgrade. It's now worth more victory points, +1 VP for each location and employee that I have. So there's different powers on each side. Once you upgrade, you no longer get the powers on this side. Now, you can also hire and promote, which is basically the same thing, but you're going to be using employees instead. So once again, each game, there's going to be 3 of these face up that will be available for hire. Once you hire them, at the end of the round, you will refill this up to make sure there's 3. So I'm just going to show you one of these. So this tells you right here, this one's worth 3 victory points. And how to hire, you have to have 4 resources. Once again, the rulebook didn't tell us that it was 4 of all one kind or just any 4 resources. We played this 4 of any resource. He's going to provide you with the hammer. If you remember back in the example of the building, it required a hammer. So if I had already built this employee, I would have the hammer required for the building. It also requires me to have a certain amount of research. So I'd have to be up on this track on the research all the way to here in order to build this person. Once again, you can promote them or upgrade them by paying the resources again, taking another action. Now they're worth 5 victory points and still provide the same things, but gain 2 times VP for all employees. So there's a little bit of a bonus for doing so. So the hire and the building are kind of the same, just require different things to buy. So research would allow you to move up on this track. And this is always going to cost you 1 of each resource and an action. And develop is going to work the same way. So whether you wanted to do the research or if you were on the develop side, it's just different tracks that you're moving up, but it requires 1 of each resource. So let's say I was able to research up, or I could have developed, depending on which one of these I had face up and which one I was activating. So you can also talent, which will be here on the card. Each person will have a talent. His is to pay the remainder of your AP, including this action, as 1 VP and 2 resources per AP forfeited. So everybody's going to have a different power, and you're going to be able to utilize your talents. That's what's going to happen here. Now, the last one that we haven't described yet is the unite. That'll be under the develop. Remember, the develop moves up this track, or you could spend an action to take your Unite ability. Everybody's going to get a Unite ability at the beginning of the game based on what their character trait is. So you can see that matches the back of the card. My Unite ability would be gain resources equal to the gap between your current highest and lowest resource. Forfeit the remainder of your turn. So this is something you want to do on the last action. So let's say I had, just to give you an example of how this worked, I had 6 here and there was 0 here. I could get 6 resources. And we took that to mean it's any 6 resources that I wanted. And that would be his Unite ability. But remember, each character trait is going to have a different Unite ability. So those are all the possible actions you're going to have. Remember, each action you take will take one of your action points. Turning of the will to take that action. So let's say I was here, but I want to do a develop action. It would cost me 1 action point to turn it, and then 1 action point to take the action of develop. Develop requires 1 of each resource, and that would move up on the development track. So that's just an example of how it works. The game is played over 10 rounds. Once the 10th round is over, you add up the score of what you're playing, and the highest score will win. I'm going to attempt to go over scoring the best of my ability because the rulebook is so bad. This is my understanding of the rules. You will gain victory points for any employees that you've been able to hire, whether you promoted them or not. You will also gain victory points for the buildings in the top right corner of what you've able to earn. You also get victory points for any remaining resources. Every 3 resources is 1 point. Also, you have completed research. For my understanding, the first research spot is worth 1 victory point. This one is worth 2, and this one is worth 3. So you get all the way to the bottom, you would gain 6 victory points. If I were to get to the second one, I would gain 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. From my understanding, once again, this is not in the rule book, but from what I was able to find out, you get 2 points for each development you're able to develop. So 2, 4, 6 would be the maximum you can get over there, which mirrors the maximum you can get from the research. Also, as you're collecting cards, you'll see they have tribe affiliations on it. From my understanding, once again, this is not in the rule book, but from what I was able to glean from the internet, if you have a set of 1 of each, the red, the blue, and the green, then you would get 4 victory points for those tribe symbols. So you want to collect different ones if at all possible. Some employee cards or some building cards will give you additional victory points. You just need to read those to learn those. And there might be some that are linked together that give you victory points if they have a combination. So that's my understanding of how the victory points work. Not all of that is in the rule book. Don't take that as the gospel, but that's my understanding of how you score the game.